You are
Gerry Gleason
from,
from Chicago.
and we've just returned from.
From Blaine, Washington, where we gave birth to the Emerging Futures Network.
While we were there, we had some interesting conversations, especially on the theme of currencies, but in a very different sense than general usage. Could you talk a little bit about what you observed?
Yes, the idea of currencies both as flow as well as the role of currency in as a medium of exchange. And the whole idea that currency is, that many things, well, our friend Arthur Brock tells us about the roots of the word currency being about flow, and the flow of all sorts of things that we don't necessarily see because we aren't measuring them, because we don't have currencies that are symbolic measures of their flow. We do have some things like grades being a performance type of currency, or I mean, I don't know what examples, but we had quite a conversation about it. And Michael's idea, particularly, to really look at the question of what is this field that is being created by our conversation about currency, and to bring more people to it, to bring people who may be already thinking in similar ways in their fields, but haven't connected it to the idea of flows and currencies. In particular, Ethan thought that some people in the areas of biology may already be thinking in these ways. And so that's where we want to go, and we want to open up the conversation to as many people who are interested.
So you bring up biology. There's a sense of an ecosystem with a number of different flows that we may want to pay attention to, as opposed to what is our current situation? How do we look at currency, and what's the limitations of the current view?
The currency as only U.S. dollars or what we call fiat currencies that are based in the faith of the governments that issue them are it's not that there's anything bad or evil about them per se. It's just that they're one-dimensional in a fundamental sense, and they're designed to do certain things that we're not sure are healthy for systems. I think one of the issues is that there has never, because this conversation about different ways that currencies could work has not really been held to any great extent. It's hard to say with any definitive authority what the real analysis will turn up, and that's why we need to bring a field together, so that people with the kind of mathematical backgrounds that analyze fields in quantum physics can also analyze what the potentialities are of different ways of arranging currency systems. I mean, it's almost as if, you know, with just the one kind of currency, it's almost as if you only paid attention to exactly one kind of subatomic particle. Say you only paid attention to photons, and you didn't know about protons, neutrons, neutrinos, and all those things. You wouldn't have a very interesting field of physics, would you? And you wouldn't really be able to prove very much, or get much traction, or even, I mean, it would be too one-dimensional. And I think this area is so new, and there are so few thinkers in it that are writing about it as yet. It's really hard to predict where it might go.
So is that one of your analogies that you would use to explain to people who are not familiar? You sort of say, like, well, the branch of physics, if you had these other tools, how else would you explain, what other metaphors might you use to convey the importance of this field or emerging field?
Well, the importance of it, I think another area I'd like to go in terms of thinking about it is not so much like other areas, but also what constitutes the domain of currencies, what the set of rules that make up what we know of as currencies, the dollar and the euro and whatever other ones are used on a wide basis, and other ones that are already in use but aren't we don't think of them in terms of currencies. They aren't money per se. There are other types of currencies like grades, but there's only a certain number of those. What I think is the main issue is to understand that these things are not something that's decreed by nature. They're not something that's passed down to us. Money is something that evolved in the space of human history, which is really a few short thousands or 10,000 years at most of duration, and that we owe it to ourselves to take it up as a serious design question of what properties of a currency system serve us and what properties of a currency system tend to create a system that can become unstable, that doesn't have long-term stability, and it doesn't promote diversity, and it doesn't or to say the same kinds of things positively. What are the characteristics of a monetary system that promotes diversity, that keeps energy in the local economy, that fosters upward spirals, as we also bring in the linkage to the Kraftful movie of the upward spiral. It's all of those analogies that we need to be able to understand and apply them in the role of economics and finance. There's too few analogies that are possible with the current system, and most of them are around warfare and conquering and winner take all, and that doesn't seem to work very well. I think most people would agree.
If we're not trying to limit this study of currencies to economics, I still want to ask you, which economists do you respect the most, and why? I mean, let's say like one.
Yeah, well, respect, I'm not sure that I know anyone well enough to say that. I certainly, a set of ideas that I've been intrigued with and following up on comes from, actually I don't even know that he's called himself an economist, Yoche Benkler, and he references an economist, Ronald Coase, who's, I guess, received the Nobel Prize for what is called Coase's theorem, which relates transaction costs to efficiency and effectiveness in markets. And I think those ideas are very important for what we're trying to do. That the importance of the networks we want to create and the type of interactions within the network field that we want to create is that we want to reduce the transaction cost to the absolute minimum, because that is what allows for economies that have that are quick moving and also have diversity and permanence as well.
Any closing thoughts?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not that good at closing thoughts. Just
opening thoughts for the
just everybody who participates in this process. I have deep gratitude and thanks for everyone who gathered with us in Blaine over the weekend, and everyone who made it possible for them to be there, and everyone who doesn't know yet that they're going to be joining our network and being a vital part of what we're creating. I think we are starting to create this rather late in the crisis of the Earth, but I think it is soon enough, and we have enough talent and ingenuity to if we put ourselves in the right places and the right structures, that we can answer the important questions and do the important actions at the right time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.